Justin always suspected I was only with him for his trust fund. To test me, he lied. I have erectile dysfunction, he confessed, looking grim. The doctor says it's practically incurable. I froze, a hand flying to my mouth in shock. Then the guy who kept me up all last night wasn't you? Justin's jaw practically hit the floor. That same day, the two best friends who put him up to this little test ended up with black eyes and bloody noses. All three of them dropped to one knee in front of me, voices frantic with desperation. Think hard. Who exactly was it last night? 1. Justin hadn't touched me in a solid month. He'd rather get blackout drunk at some downtown bar and have his boys drag him back to the penthouse than spend the night with me. For a vibrant, dutiful woman like myself, being left out in the cold meant I had to take matters into my own hands. He woke up hungover in his home office and called me in. He looked at me, hesitating. I thoughtfully handed him a special hangover cure, black coffee, spiked with dishwater, actually. He didn't drink it. Instead, he let out a heavy, staged sigh. "Mia, there's something I've been struggling to tell you." I set the mug down and squeezed his hand, lending him my unwavering support. His eyes darted away. He squeezed them shut. "I have erectile dysfunction. The doctor says it's basically incurable." He'd even printed out a fake diagnostic report from a private physician to sell the bit. It was trembling in his hands right now. I laughed inwardly, just like his bros said. A month ago, his two best friends had tracked me down. They warned me Justin was going to fake ED to force me to break up with him. They advised me to save my dignity, since I'd pushed him to this extreme. I should just pack my bags and leave gracefully. I knew they despised me, mostly because their mutual childhood friend, a girl from another old money family, had a massive crush on Justin. From day one, they treated me like trash. What they didn't know was that I'd overheard their little brainstorming session. "Justin, you guys keep saying Mia is just after my money. Even my parents think so." "Chase, she obviously is. If you don't believe us, test her. Tell her your family went bankrupt." "Liam, too fake. One look at the Wall Street ticker and she'll know you're lying." "Chase, then fake ED. If she sticks around after that, she's definitely after the money. It's not like she's sticking around for your subpar performance, right?" "Liam, any normal woman would walk away from that." "Justin, ... Sure enough, Justin hadn't laid a finger on me since. Whenever things got heavy, he'd shove me away with an expression like he was passing a kidney stone and lock himself in the office. I wondered how long he could keep the act up. A month. Pathetic. I looked at him, my eyes hazy, hand on my chest, the other covering my mouth. I gasped. "Then the guy who tossed me around all night wasn't you?" Justin's faux embarrassment vanished. He froze. 5 full seconds passed before he screamed, "What did you just say?" Blushing, I gently tugged down the collar of my silk nightgown, revealing a shocking cluster of red marks along my collarbone. I'd pinched myself in the middle of the night. Justin's face went livid. His fists clenched so hard, his knuckles turned white. I smoothed my collar, my voice trembling. "Wasn't it you? If it wasn't you, then who? Could it—" I slapped a hand over my mouth again, my gaze drifting slowly toward the hallway. Out in the living room, passed out on the designer leather sofa, were the two best friends who dragged him home last night. Justin ripped the blankets off bed, vaulted out of bed, and charged into the living room. Fists flying, he threw himself on the sleeping men. "Fuck, you bastards!"
2. I leaned against the hallway wall, quietly taking in the show. Every so often, I'd let out a panicked, tearful gasp. "Stop fighting, please, you're scaring me." But mostly my eyes were wide open, enjoying the spectacle. Watching these usually immaculate, bespoke suit-wearing elites roll around on the Persian rug like wild dogs fighting over a bone? Priceless. Justin never trusted me. He couldn't believe a girl with just a pretty face would genuinely love him. He was convinced I was a gold digger after his trust fund. Idiot. What's wrong with being with him for the money? Flimsy romantic love doesn't hold a candle to a solid, mutually beneficial financial arrangement. I had my reasons. When he first pursued me, he hid his old money status, so I kept him in my dating roster, tossing him a text whenever I was bored. We were hot and cold, totally unstable. The day he accidentally flashed his Aston Martin and Amex Black card, I cleared my roster entirely. From then on, he had my undivided attention. Our relationship became rock solid overnight. In a single month, he made more progress than he had in half a year. The efficiency of capital. Besides, accusing me of only wanting his money was unfair. I wasn't completely mercenary. He was gorgeous. When top-tier eye candy presents itself, I'm not obligated to decline. Once they finally tired themselves out, all three lay panting on the hardwood floor. I grabbed the first aid kit and made my entrance, the picture of distressed innocence. I went to Chase first. With his platinum blonde hair, he looked like a rebel heir straight out of a CW drama. Now, one eye was swelling shut and his lip was bleeding. The second I crouched beside him, Justin scrambled up and kicked him. "I knew it was you, you son of a bitch. No wonder you were so eager to suggest I—" Justin caught my eye and swallowed the rest of his sentence, looking guilty. Chase shoved me away, frantic and terrified. "Justin's girl, no, Mia, get away from me. It wasn't me last night, I swear." He barely pushed me, but I let myself fall hard backward, right onto Liam. Liam's hands instinctively caught my waist. I turned my head in a panic, meeting his deep, intense eyes. He had a cut near his eyebrow. "Thank you," I whispered. "Let me help you with that cut." "Fuck you, Liam, you hypocritical piece of shit. Get your filthy hands off her," Justin roared, swinging a fist. Liam shoved me behind him, his brow furrowing deeply. "Justin, calm the fuck down. It wasn't me. I was blackout drunk." Justin froze, his fist hovering in midair. He whipped around to glare at Chase, eyes bloodshot. Chase shook his head violently. "Not me either. I completely blacked out." Justin stood there, lost, confused, his fragile ego shattering into pieces. I wiped away a tear and spoke softly. "Right, you were both drunk. It makes sense that you don't remember. I'll just pretend the man last night was Justin, even though he—" I glanced up at Justin, letting a fleeting look of pity cross my face. His expression turned black as pitch. He had just told me he had ED, so even if it had been him last night, he absolutely couldn't admit it now, which meant he had to swallow this imaginary infidelity whole. Justin and Liam exchanged a look. Their rock-solid denials started to crack, morphing into bizarre self-doubt. Both of them stared at the floor, racking their brains for any scrap of memory. Now they were confused. Were they entirely sure they hadn't crossed a line while blacked out? Seeing their hesitation, Justin cursed and lunged again like a rabid dog. Round 2 left them all battered. Chase's eye was practically swelling shut. Liam's jaw sported a nasty bruise. Their usual aloof, elite auras were obliterated. Justin's split lip kept bleeding. He shakily lit a Marlboro, collapsed on the sofa, and looked at me, his voice ragged. "Mia, think hard. Who exactly was it last night?" Chase leaned in, looking like he was about to cry. "Mia, please think. Who was it? This is about our brotherhood. Please." Liam stared at the floor, deep in thought. I swept my gaze over their 3 pathetic faces and let out a soft sigh. I pretended to concentrate, rock hard. I ducked my head shyly, my voice dropping to a whisper. "I honestly thought it was you, Justin. I thought you'd been secretly hitting the gym this past month." Dead silence. The ash from Justin's cigarette snapped off, burning a hole into the expensive leather sofa. He knew it wasn't him, but his hand automatically ghosted over his stomach. His eyes darkened. A month ago, his abs were flawless, but after a month of dodging me to binge drink at the bar, he was developing a beer gut. The rock-hard abs were gone. Chase and Liam froze at my description. A few seconds later, both men subtly reached down to press their own stomachs. I'd already checked them out before. Both had incredible bodies. Chase panicked first. He practically lived at the gym these days. His core was a washboard. Feeling the tight muscle, his face drained of color. Liam's reaction was even worse. He played squash religiously and had phenomenal core strength. The moment his fingers met solid muscle, he shot a guilty look at Justin. Then he locked eyes with Chase. They both read the same horrific realization in each other's faces. Fuck, was it me? Justin's mouth twitched as he watched them. The cigarette went out. His eyes were murderous, frustrated, bitter, and completely suffocated. Round 1, and he was the only one disqualified. Still refusing to give up, he lowered his voice. Think harder. Are there any other specific details? I twisted the silk cuff of my nightgown, looking hesitant. Details? Do I have to say them out loud? He ground his teeth. Yes. My face flushed. My eyes took on a dreamy glaze. He was an incredible kisser. This really aggressive French kiss, he left me completely breathless. I added, I really thought you'd been practicing your technique behind my back, Justin. Another dead silence. Justin's mental defenses crumbled. He was a notoriously clumsy kisser. It always felt like a golden retriever aggressively licking my face. A moment later, Chase slapped his thigh and burst out laughing. Scared the shit out of me. I still have my first kiss, man. I don't know the first thing about French kissing. Justin's glare snapped to Liam like a laser, his knuckles white. Liam's face burned bright red. He kept his head down, mumbling, I still have mine too. I'm probably not good at it either. I stared at them. One was a flashy party boy, the other a stoic corporate heir. Both looked like seasoned playboys, yet neither had even given away their first kiss. I took a longer look at them. Chase slouched on the couch, the corners of his eyes naturally turning up in a rakish smirk. Liam sat ramrod, straight, his sharp nose and cold demeanor screaming unattainable. Justin suddenly exploded, kicking the glass coffee table hard. Neither of you have kissed anyone? Was Mia just hallucinating the whole thing? The air in the living room vibrated. Chase's smile vanished. I swear, the most I've done is hold a girl's hand at prom. Liam's ears were scarlet. It took him forever to choke out, I haven't even held a woman's hand. Justin looked ready to pass out from rage. I spoke up lazily. Just because you haven't kissed anyone doesn't mean you're bad at it. Anyway, there's no way to prove it. Unless, I trailed off, sounding wronged. Chase's eyes lit up. Unless you kiss me right now. That'll prove my innocence. Liam's impeccable composure slipped. He shot Chase a look that screamed, Are you out of your mind? Justin lost it. You're not even pretending anymore, are you? They started bickering again, throwing accusations. I sighed, tears welling in my eyes. Forget it. Since none of you want to take responsibility, I'll just pretend last night never happened. I don't want to ruin your friendship over this. Justin was the first to object, his voice shaking. No, think again. Isn't there anything else? A defining characteristic? More thinking? I tilted my head. The rest of the broadcast was strictly rated R, but he was acting like a masochist, practically begging for the final nail in the coffin. I pretended to think deeply. His size. It was enormous.
The air froze. Chase blinked. Then a sudden laugh escaped him. Oh, that was definitely me. He ruffled his hair, looking genuinely confused. Sucks that I don't remember it, though. You'd think my first time would leave a core memory. Liam's face was completely flushed, his gaze darting everywhere, but he gave a stiff, miserable nod. It could be me, too. Justin glared at them, his eyes rimmed with red. Stuck playing the role of a guy with ED, he had zero right to speak up. All he could do was seethe. The other two weren't even looking at him anymore. He turned on me, agitated. Mia, I asked for a defining characteristic, not anatomy. Give me a useful clue. I blinked innocently. How is that not a useful clue? Did he want me to draw him a diagram of the positions? Justin opened his mouth, but nothing came out. His chest heaved. Chase and Liam, however, had calmed down. The initial panic was gone. Their expressions shifted from denial to quiet acceptance. Liam, especially, was staring at the floor in deep thought. I half suspected he was already brainstorming baby names. Chase rubbed his face, stepped right in front of me, and gave an awkward laugh. Let me just put this out there. If it was me last night, I'll take full responsibility. If me's sister found out I hit it and quit it, she'd break both my legs. Liam pressed 2 fingers to his jaw. After a long silence, he stood up too, his dark eyes locked onto mine, his voice steady. If it was me, I'd do the same. A good, wholesome girl like me wasn't used to this kind of spicy standoff. 2 men with model-tier physiques blocking my path, broad shoulders, narrow waists, chests tight and waists lean. One had his shirt ripped open, exposing pale skin. The other had his sleeves rolled up, showing off tanned, corded forearms. And they were actively competing to take responsibility for me. A sudden realization hit me. I had been totally wasting my status as Justin's girlfriend. So what if they didn't like me before? I was a rational, modern woman. Why would I hold a grudge against 2 hot-headed guys? I had to bite the inside of my cheek to stop myself from smiling. Thankfully, Justin snapped again. He charged forward, fists swinging wildly. Have you no shame? I finally see you for the bastards you are. She's not your woman. Who gave you the right to take responsibility? He threw sloppy punches, quickly losing the 2-on-1 scuffle. It felt like watching a middle-aged guy with ED catch his wife cheating, try to fight the affair partner, and get his ass beat instead. So sad. I almost felt bad enough to help him out. I rushed forward, shoving Chase and Liam toward the heavy oak front door. If they kept fighting, they might ruin those handsome faces, and that would be a tragedy. "Stop fighting," I sobbed. "It's my fault. Don't blame them." Justin stopped dead, staring at me in disbelief. "You're defending them? You've never defended me like this." I shoved Chase and Liam out the door. Just before it clicked shut, I saw the shock in their eyes. Their expressions clearly said, "Mia, you really are a good woman." With the door closed, I let my tears fall freely, my voice catching. "I was scared you'd get hurt. You couldn't beat them. Of course I'd be heartbroken if you got injured." The roaring fire of Justin's anger was instantly extinguished by my tears. I made my shoulders tremble violently. "But you thought I was protecting them. You don't trust me at all. And now that I've done something to betray you, you'll never trust me again. I should just move out." I turned and marched toward the master bedroom to pack my bags. Justin's bravado evaporated. Panic set in. "Don't go, Mia. I shouldn't have said that. Please don't go." I didn't stop. He followed right behind me. "Last night wasn't your fault, and it might not even be them. Actually, I stopped dead and whipped around. Actually what? I had just accused him of not trusting me. It was the perfect excuse to leave. He couldn't confess that his ED was a fake test now. That would prove he never trusted me to begin with. His Adam's apple bobbed. He swallowed the confession. When he finally spoke, his voice was a humiliatingly quiet whisper. "Actually, I'm willing to take responsibility too." I feigned shock. "What if I end up pregnant from this? Would you still take responsibility?" Justin fell completely silent. After a few seconds, he muttered, "What are the odds? You can't get pregnant from one time." I let out a cold laugh. "Let's hope so." I walked into the walk-in closet, shoving clothes into my suitcase. Justin sat slumped on the couch, trapped in his own agonizing dilemma. Suitcase packed, I headed for the front door. Justin grabbed my wrist, his eyes red and pleading. "Mia, don't go." I gently pushed his hand away.
I don't have the dignity to stay in this penthouse anymore. Let me go home. I need to be alone." He stubbornly gripped the handle of my luggage, blocking the exit. He stared at me, tears gathering in his eyes. After a long standoff, he looked away, his face flushed with embarrassment. "Mia, are you leaving me because I can't perform anymore?" He couldn't even look me in the eye. He looked genuinely terrified of being discarded. The idea of testing me was entirely gone from his mind. All he cared about was figuring out how to make me stay, probably wishing he could prove his virility right then and there. I smiled lightly. "You're overthinking it. Just focus on your treatment. I believe you'll get better." He visibly exhaled. "I'll be cured soon, Mia. Just give me a little time." "Please don't." I was about to be very busy. I wouldn't have time for him. Terrified he might actually undergo a miraculous recovery, I looked down, my face a mask of guilt. "Let's talk about the future later. I'm tainted now. I can't let you suffer that kind of humiliation." He shook his head frantically. "I don't care. I swear I can pretend it never happened." I sighed. "But Chase and Liam don't feel that way. You saw them just now." I left it at that. Twisting the knife too much would just be cruel. Justin's eyes darkened. He scoffed. "How exactly are they going to take responsibility?" "Chase is a useless trust fund kid who's terrified of his older sister. He doesn't get a say in his marriage. Liam is chained to his family's corporate interests. Whoever he marries has to bring commercial value. But me? I've made up my mind, Mia. Even if you're pregnant, I'll step up." He sounded so sincere, I almost felt touched. Almost. If he hadn't distrusted me enough to orchestrate this whole test, maybe things would be different. I scoffed internally, but brushed him off gently. "Justin, you need to calm down and really think about this. If I am pregnant, are you really willing to raise another man's child?" I emphasized another man's. He flinched. I smiled and cut him off. "Don't be impulsive. Think it over." With a sudden jerk, I yanked the suitcase handle out of his grip. Caught off guard, he stumbled back. He watched helplessly as I opened the heavy door and walked out without looking back. The moment the door clicked shut, a high-pitched, boiling kettle scream erupted from inside the apartment. Mr. ED had officially lost his mind. Standing in the elevator, I practically doubled over laughing.
Should you wish to read more of the story, please click the link below or download the app. If you have any suggestions, please feel free to leave a comment below.